The rules for being found on Google are constantly evolving and changing, and the do's from yesterday have become the do-nots of today. We're going to talk a little bit today about how do you get found on Google? What's the biggest thing that you can use to motivate and compel Google to rank your website highly right after the break. Welcome back to a very special Inside Patient Attraction. Now today I'm joined here with Matt Tungate, our Director of Production here at Smartbox Web Marketing. Welcome on the show, Matt.
Glad to be here, man. I'm super excited to talk today.
Appreciate your time. So today I want to talk about content marketing, and with Google is the big gorilla in the room right now. They've got 98% of people go online to search. Now, somewhere around 75 to 80% of people go specifically to Google to search. And even more importantly, 75, 80% of people are never going to look past the first page of search results. So if your dental practice isn't found on the first page, you're wasting your money marketing online. Nobody's finding you. Today, I want to talk about the number one key, most important thing that you need to be doing to get your website up at the top of Google's listings. And that is content marketing. So welcome on the show, Matt.
Yeah, super excited to be here.
Well, tell me, let's start off, Matt. First off, what is good content? What makes up great content that Google likes to consume?
Yeah, so content is anything you put on your website, whether that's writing, which we'll talk a lot about today, video, it could be graphics, it could be a lot of things that are meant to draw in and educate the dental prospect.
And why does Google care about content?
Well, Google's always cared about content. Google is there to provide information that people want. Google succeeds when people want to go to Google because they know they can find what they want. And so Google is always looking to give you, the searcher, or the dental prospect, or whomever, the results that they want to find. That way they keep using Google.
So what is a searcher looking for? Why do you think a dental prospective patient goes to Google to search? What are they seeking?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's something that all dentists should ask themselves, because the prospect is not there looking for the dentist. The prospect is not there looking for how that dentist might be the person that they want to go and see. The dental prospect is looking for a way to solve their problems. They don't care about anything else. What the prospect is looking for is, how can I get out of pain? How can I eat the foods I love again? How can I have the smile I've always wanted? How can I look good at my son's impending wedding? How can I look good at my 20-year reunion? Or how can I look good now that I've entered the dating scene? They are not there looking for the things that most dentists think they are looking for. They are there looking for purely selfish, solve my problem reasons.
Why aren't they there if they've got a problem in their mouth? Why aren't they looking for a dentist?
Well, they're not looking for a dentist. They just want a way to make whatever that problem is go away. It doesn't necessarily have to be, I want the dentist closest to my neighborhood, or I want the dentist that I went to as a kid. Maybe they've not gone to a dentist in a while, and so they need to find somebody who is the expert in solving their problem.
And when you say their problem, you mean that very selfishly, like you said. It's their pain, their dentures. They're wanting a permanent solution to bite into that apple if you're a patient that maybe is a dentulous or has dentures. And so let's role play here. Say I'm a patient that's had dentures for 20 years. I have no teeth left in my mouth, and I'm tired of taking my teeth out every night and putting them in the cup next to the bed. What might I search for online?
Right. So if I'm a person who uses dentures and I'm tired of using dentures, I might search for, how can I get rid of my dentures? My dentures hurt. What can I do about that? Or is there a better solution than dentures? But they're not asking. They're not asking the things that a lot of dentists would think they would ask, because dentists think like dentists, right? Dentists think about it in their terms. They're experts and they think about it. the way they would think about it, you got to think about it. How is that normal, average, everyday person going to ask that question? And then you want to have your content focused on answering those questions.
So when you're writing good content, it sounds to me like you're really trying to satisfy two different parts. You're trying to satisfy the needs of the person searching and answering their questions and problems, but you're also trying to optimize that content for Google to get Google to rank your site highly. How do you balance those against each other?
Right. That's a really, really good observation. And in the past, focusing on Google was really the way most marketing companies went about creating their content. It was like making a chocolate chip cookie, and you chocolate chip cookie is nothing but a chip delivery system, and it just can't be that way anymore.
So when you say a chip delivery system, you're essentially saying that the chocolate chips are kind of like the keywords. You sprinkle in your keywords and then you give out the chocolate chips, versus now what's different?
Right now, Google has gotten really smart about doing what we in marketing and lots of marketing companies used to do, and that was to try to put in a lot of keywords. That way, it would make it seem to Google like that page or your site was really authoritative on that particular issue. Well, Google's gotten a lot smarter, and Google makes changes every year, not just a big change, but changes over and over again. It's making changes, and so now Google's smart enough to see when you've only dropped in a few keywords, but the rest of your content's not good. And so now you can't just drop in keywords like chocolate chips. You have to deliver the whole candy bar, and that means that all of your content has to be good, whether that's your videos or whether that's your on-site content, whether that's graphics that you use or white papers. Google's looking for things that are indicators more like time on page and how many times did somebody share that content. And so it's not enough just to have good keywords. You do want to have that, but now instead of being the indicator, it's just an indicator.
So Google made somewhere around 600 changes to their algorithm last year. How do you keep up with that?
Well, it's awfully hard because much like Kentucky, where I'm from, KFC doesn't give away its secret herbs and spices, and so you have to watch what's going on in search engine results. There are lots of people who professionally watch what goes on. We have people, of course, here at SmartBox who watch changes that Google makes, and then you have to be able to respond to that. It's a full-time job to figure out what works on Google and what changes you need to make. And I know we have a lot of dentists who are watching today that want to DIY their marketing, but the content part, it's an overwhelming thing. I mean, we have a whole department here that's devoted to creating great content for our clients, and so they can focus on what they really do best, which is dentistry.
What kind of content, when you're a dentist, you're doing content marketing. What is content marketing? What are you creating? Are you just posting blogs on a website? What are you doing to create this content?
Well, so there are lots of different kinds of content. We could start with the most visible part of a dentist marketing, which is their website. Well, those pages don't just come into creation out of the blue. Somebody has to write that content. Now, unfortunately, there are companies out there that want to use the same content over and over again for multiple websites.
Like duplicating it, cloning it,
right, exactly.
Templating the content on the site?
Exactly.
I didn't know people still did that.
Yeah, we have seen instances where we've had people come on as a client, and I can remember this had happened to me specifically, that I went to look at two different clients, one in the Northeast and one down in Texas. And I was reviewing their old website, looking for the kind of things they do and what sort of content we were going to need to write. And I couldn't believe it. They had the exact same content on their websites, one in the Northeast, one in Texas, and it was the exact same content.
And when you find something like that, how does Google treat that, or why don't you want duplicate content?
Right. That's not only bad in terms of it may not be specifically related to your practice, but from Google's standpoint, that's a big no-no. Google looks at that and not only says, "Oh, we've seen this content before, so we're not going to rate it very highly." Google looks at that and says, "We've seen this content before. We're going to push you down the search engine results because we know this is duplicate content."
If you were going to put it on a bumper sticker, don't use duplicate content. Is that fair?
Right, absolutely, because Google's looking for content that is unique and fresh and of value to people. And if you've got that content all over multiple websites, then it's going to make Google logically ask, how valuable is this content?
We should make some bumper stickers up for docs and sell them. I think that might be a good alternative market if dental marketing doesn't take off.
Yeah. So we talked about your website content. That's the most obvious part of your content. But then there are other parts of content, certainly that we know that we have found to be effective. For instance, like blogs. We write blogs for all of our clients. Sometimes almost every day we're putting out a blog for a client on our highest packages, and that is to show Google, hey, we're really knowledgeable in this area. But more importantly than showing Google that we're knowledgeable in this area and that we keep our website updated, it shows prospects that our dentists are the experts, that our dentists know the problems they have. Our dentists can solve their problems, and it lets us write for our dentist in a way that lets prospects know our dentist's personality, lets them know who our dentist is, the things that are important to them, so that content means something to the person who's looking for whatever they've searched.
So not only are you balancing against trying to have great optimized content and talking to the person, but you're also trying to set yourself up as the expert.
Right.
Why do you want to be they're dentists. Why do they want to be the expert?
Right. Well, of course, as all dentists know, there's competition. U.S. News and World Report just listed dentistry as the most desirable profession in the United States. It projected a 15% increase in new dentists over the next, I think it was 15 years. You think competition's tight now in the dental field? It's about to get a lot tighter over the next few years, and so we really want to help dentists distinguish themselves, not as an expert, which most people expect their dentist to be, but the expert in their market.
I think not only are dentists dealing with a few other stats that I remember coming from that article were not only the number of dentists that are increasing, but average spend from the United States consumer since 2008 has not increased at all. Not increased at all. So not only do you have more dentists, you have flat spending from the consumer public, and then let's not miss the big pink elephant in the room, corporate dentistry. More dentists are going into corporate dentistry than ever before. Corporate dentistry's marketing budget is humongous. I mean, they have the economies of scale and they have the marketing dollars to literally drive the private fee-for-service dentist out of business. Tell me a little bit more. How do you differentiate yourself? How does a private fee-for-service dentist position themselves against the corporate overlords in terms of content marketing and their perception in the market?
Right. Content is actually one of the best ways to do that, because when you're doing your on-site content, when you are writing your blogs, we haven't even talked about video or graphics or some of the other visual things you can do on your website, but those are things that you can do that really relate to only you. These corporate dentists are most likely going to use these template sites. Most of their pages are going to be the same as they would in Louisville, Kentucky, or Denver, Colorado, or wherever. They're going to have the exact same cookie cutter look, the exact same cookie cutter content. And so our dentists at SmartBox, we write all of their content, we create all of their videos, we do all of their visuals. Everything we do from a content standpoint is specifically about that dentist. And so that's how we really separate them from every other dentist, corporate or otherwise, in their marketplace.
So, I mean, we've got hundreds of dentists that we work with. How are you creating all this individualized content for all these doctors?
Well, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of manpower. We have some really, really fantastic folks in our production departments, whether that's in our writing department or whether that's in our video department. We really go out and look for kind of the best and brightest. We're very serious about handpicking only the right people to come in, and then we give them good training about what it takes to attract more and better patients for our clients.
Awesome, awesome. Tell me about what, we talked a little bit about on-site content. We talked about blogs briefly. What other kinds of content are there that dentists need to be doing to leverage kind of the whole umbrella of what content is?
Oh, right. So video is a really good one. There are all kinds of statistics that show how video on the web continues to grow every year. Any dentist Any dentist that is not using video is not missing the wave of the future. They're missing the wave of the present. Video is a must-have. I mean, it says what words take pages and pages to say. You could say in a really short video. Forrester Marketing has said that 1 minute of video is worth 1.8 million words. I mean, that's pretty strong. Pretty strong. It's a really good way not only to talk about the things that your prospects are looking for, but also to give an idea of your personality, give an idea of who you are, so that Colin, there's no get to know you period in dentistry anymore. There's no come in and get to meet me and see if I'm the dentist that you might like to have. People want to know that before they ever set that appointment, and video is really the best way to do that.
Awesome. What other things haven't we talked about here that are important if you're a dentist looking to put together a content marketing campaign? What kind of strategies or what other tips would you give to that dentist?
I'll tell you the one thing that we've not talked about that becomes increasingly important, and that's social media. I know in the past we have been less than really eager to push our dentist into social media, and we still don't feel like it's a good use of our clients' time or their staff resources to have somebody whose only job is to sit and tweet or Facebook post or whatever social media you like to use all day long. It's just not a good ROI on that. But there are some really smart things dentists can do. There are things we do for our clients, and that is to use your content in multiple channels. So you might have a blog post on your website, and then you might also post that to Facebook or also post that to LinkedIn, so that you're really doubling the effectiveness of that piece of content. Google's looking really strongly at social shares, at like I say, time on page, things that show there's engagement. And so the more channels you can put that content through, the more engagement you can get.
So Matt, what advice would you give to the dentist that maybe has an old website that's template or cookie cutter? They know they have duplicate content. They know they've never written any great content for their website, or maybe you're talking to a dentist that's trying to DIY, do it yourself. What kind of advice would you give to that group?
Yeah, the first and probably biggest piece of advice I would give is make sure that your content emphasizes that prospects can trust you, because trust is really the basis of what anybody wants in their dentist. They trust that you're going to solve their problems. They trust that you're going to do it in the least painful way possible. They trust that you're going to do it the least expensive way for them possible. But most importantly, they trust that you're going to do it the best way possible, that you are there looking out for them. And so all of your content, whether that's on-site web content, whether that's blogs, whether that's videos, whether that's webinars like this one, whether it's white papers, whether it's podcasts, whatever it is, make sure that when you're done, you feel like the prospect who sees that knows they can trust you. The important thing with content just generally is to make sure that the content is what matters, that what you are saying, the message comes across. If you handle the message, then the SEO, the search engine optimization, will take care of itself, not the other way around. Don't start off with how am I going to shoehorn these key ideas or these key search terms, or somebody went into my Google Analytics and told me that the 5 most common ways people find me are these search terms. So what can I write around that to get people on there? It just doesn't work that way anymore. And so I would definitely encourage dentists to do that. For dentists who can accomplish that, who can create great content, then they're in much better position to combat corporate dentistry. They're in much better position to go fee for service. They're in much better position to bring in large case dentistry. For all those dentists out there who wish I didn't have to do all this drill and fill dentistry. I wish I could only focus on these niches. Focus content on those niches. Bring in the kind of patients that you want via that content, and you'll really succeed. Content is one of your highest ROI, return on investment measures that you can actively track and follow. You can see which pages are people going to, which things resonate with patients, which of my calls to action on my pages get the most traction, and therefore which content seems to make the biggest difference. I mean, content is really kind of the basis around which you run your marketing.
So for those dentists that want to get an evaluation of their content marketing, whether it be limited just to, hey, is this content working for me? Is it generating new patients and phone calls into my practice? Or look at a more extensive patient attraction system. Give one of our new practice consultants a call who'll be glad to share what we can do with you, and more importantly, a strategy that can take you to where you want to go, complimentary on us. So I appreciate you being on the show, Matt.
Yeah, thanks
for chatting about content. It's been awesome to learn about the new developments and what dentists need to be doing to succeed and attract the patients that they want in this 2016 and beyond Google era. So thanks for joining us for another Inside Patient Attraction. I hope this month is a fantastic month for you. I appreciate your time, taking time out of your busy day, out of your busy practice, your busy lives, your family, to join us for 20 or 30 minutes to look at how you can improve your practice and what it takes in 2016, 2017, and beyond to be competitive if you're a private fee-for-service dentist. So thank you again for your time. I look forward to talking to you again on another episode.